Hey, restaurant pros. Restaurant owners often think that they're losing customers because of the competition. But what if I told you that while that might be correct, it only accounts for about 9% of lost customers? In just a moment, I'm not only going to share with you the number one reason why 68% of your customers don't come back, but I'm also going to tell you what you need to do to fix it. Stay with me. I'm David Scott Peters, restaurant expert, coach, and creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula, and I've been coaching restaurant owners since 2003, and I'm really glad you're here to learn. Today, I want to talk about how you stop the bleeding of customers who decide not to come back to your restaurant. But before I go into that, if you like tips and tricks like this, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, oh yeah, that bell so you're notified when my next video tip comes out. And for more tips and tricks for running a profitable restaurant or to hear restaurant owner success stories, make sure you tune into my podcast, Restaurant Prosperity Formula, found on all the popular podcasting services. So now, we're in the hospitality industry. Our main purpose is to create memorable experiences for our guests. Everything we do on our restaurant floor is to successfully achieve this result. So why don't customers come back? Well, let me give you the 6 main reasons why your customers don't come back, and ultimately what the number one reason is and what you need to do to fix it. Reason number 6, 1% of your customers die. That is a sad reality of life, and this may affect some restaurants more than others if you've got an elderly population. But do know that you're going to need to replace customers just through that alone. Reason number 5, 3% of your customers move out of the area. Now, this could be very simple as getting a job completely across country, or as simple as if you live in an area that you literally move from one side of the freeway to the other. Often train tracks, freeways, bridges, things like that can be these barriers that keep people on one side or the other. So even if it's blocks away, it could change your customers' patterns. So it may not be anything to do with what you've done or not done. It's just that they moved. Reason number 4, 5% find new interests or friends. Now, this is a big one that we often don't look at. For instance, when I was younger, I'd go to restaurants that had a bar component, and maybe even bars for that matter. And as I got a little older, maybe we'd go to sports bars, things like that, be hanging out with my buddies, having a good time. Well, as I had a girlfriend, we started going out to restaurants with couples, and now there were restaurant couple-friendly kind of restaurants, if you will. And then as I had kids, we didn't have any friends. No, when we got married, right, you have kids, you change where you go. Like you're not gonna, my kids aren't gonna be those kids that were unruly in your restaurant and untethered, if you will. We made sure we went to places we can get it out in 20 minutes or so, even if the grandparents wanted to stay longer. But so as my life changed, my friends and family changed, so didn't where I went to dine. That's very much happening in your population as well. Now, number 3, the third reason why customers don't come back is 9% change for competitive reasons. This is the one we think the restaurant down the street's kicking my ass, the new restaurant, the chain restaurant, I'm losing all my business to that other restaurant down the street. It's 9%. Yes, it hurts. We don't want to lose any customers. But the truth of the matter is, if you did a good job in your restaurant, every one of your customers, not every, but you get the drift, are going to go try the new restaurant. And then because you did a good job, they're going to come back. Usually that loss is temporary unless you didn't do a good job. And that's where the next 2 reasons, the top 2 reasons really come into play. Reason number 2, why your customers don't come back is 14% of your customers change because they're dissatisfied with the restaurant. Meaning you did a bad job. Poor service, poor food quality, temperature, portions, cleanliness, you name it, service. You did a bad job executing the restaurant experience. Great hospitality. And the number one reason why your customers don't come back is 68% of your customers don't come back because they encounter an attitude of indifference or unconcern by one or more employees. They just don't give a shit. Hey, where are the restrooms? Over there. Versus follow me. Or do you see the sign? It's right over here. I can help you get there. Instead of Here's that young busser with a bus tub full of dirty dishes, just motor into the kitchen, and a customer's walking towards them. And all of a sudden, the customer has to jump out of the way of the employee because all the employee is concerned about is getting to the kitchen instead of stopping, opening up, greeting the guest. Is there anything I do for you? Everything good? And then motoring back to the kitchen by showing care and concern for the guest versus all I care about is myself. Like, this is crazy. If you think about it, the number 2 reason was 14% of your customers don't come back. Then we have 68% of our customers don't come back. The number 1 and 2 reasons together are 82%. 82% of your customers don't come back because of the people that you have on your team. That means 82 out of every 100 customers don't come back because of how your employees conducted themselves or how they've done their jobs. Or should I say, not done their jobs. So as part of your training program, yes, I said training. Training is critical. You want to change this, you need training. You need to not only cover the basics from food safety to steps of service, you need to train hospitality. And the idea that the customer comes first, that we're all here for the guest, not for ourselves. If we do a good job to the guest, we make more money as employees, as a restaurant, as a whole. There's no front of house, back of house. We're all here for one purpose, one reason: take care of the guest. So if you did nothing more than tackle these 2 reasons, really training your employees, your business will literally explode. All it takes is training. If you're tired of not being able to leave your restaurant because no one else knows how to run it, I want to make sure you know it doesn't have to be that way. You can leave your restaurant. It is possible to build a team of people who know how you want the restaurant to run with trained and responsible people in place. You can give yourself time away. What would you do if you had time away from your restaurant? Would you sleep better? Would your relationships improve? Would you feel more relaxed? These are all things you deserve to experience as a business owner. It's why we own our own businesses. If you would like to learn how to own a restaurant that doesn't depend on you to be successful, click the link in the description to watch a free video to learn exactly what you have to do. Also, be sure to subscribe to get my weekly tips and watch these 2 videos to get more information and guidance for running a successful restaurant.